Having arrived in Thailand late last year from Brussels with his wife, Ambassador Daly is originally from Ireland. His Excellency told us why he's chosen to serve the European Union, which is a unique bloc of 27 nations.
I came to the EU through Ireland. I had worked in the Irish Ministry of Agriculture. Then I joined the Irish Diplomatic Service, and an opportunity arose to come to the European Commission in Brussels. And I thought that seems very interesting. The European Union is very important for Ireland. It also was an opportunity to think beyond purely national terms. You have to have a broader sort of vision, and then with that vision you have to work with the 27 member states to negotiate whatever solution you are proposing and accept ideas from this country, that country, and so on. So it's extremely exciting to work in that way. So I came to Brussels to sort of see if I liked it, and I thought it would be an interesting experience for a couple of years. But 30 years later, I'm still part of the EU service. That shows you that it's in fact very professionally enriching.
Although he has visited Thailand before, Mr. Daly is now living here for the first time and is enjoying it greatly.
There's a lot to discover, a lot of art, a lot of culture, a lot of history. We try to spend some time, especially at weekends, to visit some new thing, to explore some new area. For us, it's very exciting to go to Chatuchak market or to see the reclining Buddha. These things are wonders for us. I like the vibrancy of being here in Bangkok. Also the Thai cuisine, which is world famous, but it's different eating it here in Thailand. The street food and so on. It's wonderful.
With the ambassadors of EU member states representing their countries in Thailand and elsewhere, along with the EU ambassador, His Excellency explains how this symbiosis works, with clear distinctions in who's in charge of what competences while working closely together.
I could not do my job without a very strong cooperation with the national member state ambassadors. We meet at least once a month. We often go to have discussions with the different ministries or on the Thai government side. We go as the European Union family. We do an awful lot of work together. Now, trade is an interesting area. Trade policy is done at the level of the European Union. So in Brussels, we work out the trade policy regime, and we negotiate with third countries trade agreements as the European Union and the partner country. Trade promotion, which is all about supporting the companies from your country to get contracts and so on, this is a national competence.
Trade is a key theme in relations between Thailand and the EU. There's a plan towards a free trade agreement or FTA, but no time has been set yet for when negotiations can begin, as more issues need to be explored first.
We very much hope to resume negotiations with Thailand on an FTA. What we're doing right now is that we are engaged in an exercise with Thailand to examine the question, look, do we want the same sort of things from this FTA? Do we see it as an agreement which will cover a large range of topics, or an agreement that will cover a narrower range of topics? Our relationship obviously has a very strong economic underpinning. Our trade is around 30 billion euro a year. So it's a very solid underpinning. The European Union is the fourth largest trading partner of Thailand, and we're the third largest foreign direct investment partner of Thailand.
With full diplomatic ties being restored following an announcement of the 2019 general elections after a period of downgraded relations in response to the 2014 coup, the EU hopes to deepen ties with Thailand in areas other than trade as well through a partnership agreement.
We see that Thailand is on a path back to democracy, back to a stronger respect of human rights and rule of law. And these elements are very, very important in the considerations of the European Union in its relations with Thailand and any other country. I'm very happy with the direction of our relations improving. Of course, there's always more that can be done, and this is a path to be navigated, and we will continue to support Thailand in the navigation of that path. We have issues that we have been discussing in the fisheries area, for example, with IUU fisheries. We want to look at areas like security, maritime security perhaps, or cyber. We have had a developing discussion on labour issues. We want to work together very strongly on global issues like climate change, like the environment, like biodiversity. We find that there's a lot of common ground in our positions on many of these global issues. But what we want to do right now is we want to finalize the negotiations of our partnership agreement. And this agreement will put a much better structure on our relations.
The EU-Thailand relations are also important to the European bloc's partnership with ASEAN, especially as the two regional unions upgraded their 4-decade ties with a strategic partnership in 2020. Among the key regional issues are sustainable development, as well as practical topics such as an air transport agreement and the pressing concern over Myanmar's repressive military regime. On the global stage, in a world dominated by rivalries between powers such as the US, Russia, and China, the EU has set itself apart, the ambassador said, by favoring international rules and trade, as well as funding in global issues and being one of the world's soft powers.
The European Union believes strongly in a world in which international relations are governed by agreed rules and institutions and working together through the various multilateral fora. We believe in rules rather than power determining how countries should act and react. We reject the idea, which was very prevalent in previous centuries, of having spheres of influence where big countries dominate or try to dominate smaller neighbours. We see that that vision of the world is under threat. The European Union is a major player in the world, starting from the huge internal market of 450 million people, very, very open to the world, very competitive, producing high quality goods which are produced under very high standards. We do have a certain influence that comes from that. I think we also have an influence coming from the fact that the European Union demonstrates a very high degree of solidarity, both within the Union, but also between the European Union and other parts of the world. We also saw that and see that in the COVID context. The European Union is the leading funder of COVAX. Without calling ourselves a superpower, I think it's clear that there are many, many fields where the European Union does have a strong power. It may be a soft power, it may be a soft power getting harder. We've evolved over the last 20 years. We are much more now a voice also on political, foreign policy, security, and defense issues. Success can breed complacency, and that's a challenge for us. We have to keep reminding ourselves of our history and ensuring that every generation understands that it has to take its turn at the wheel as well.
Hathai Teshakit Tiranan reporting for Thai PBS World.